Tom.
Oh, Dana,
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. How about
Good.
you?
I could complain, but I'm not going to.
It's funny you say that to people, and I hear it from like my supervisor and just random people. Oh, I'm good. I can't complain, and the immediate response is almost always, "Well, no one would listen to you anyway."
Right, right. That's probably true. I don't know.
So, what have you been up to?
Nothing. Just waiting to be on Two Guys Talking Toys.
That is what we are.
I just sit around all week just waiting for this. That's what I do. So I decided to try and shoot down in the collection room because you had mentioned it a couple times. So figured I'd give it a go.
That is awesome. I like this setup. You've got a lot going on back there. Give us a quickie like 10 or 15 second tour.
Uh, well, I with the lights and everything, it would be weird. It'd be weird.
that's
I could
that's right.
spin it around like a basketball, and you could see everything. But I guess behind me is the Marvel Legends. It goes three shelves that way. Is Marvel Legends. Below that is the old Toy Biz, I believe. Yeah, well, the Wolverine shelf. Um, Toy Biz behind me. Toy Biz down below. Good guys, bad guys. Spider Man's over there. And then McFarlane shelf is over there. The whole Batman shelf is there. G.I. Joe, He-Man, Thundercats, Hanna-Barbera stuff, all mixture 80s stuff, Playmates, Star Wars. It's all over the place.
That is awesome. I like this. I like this new setup. So have,
Yeah,
have you have you found anything new to add to this collection?
I did. I got I finally shipped the second series of the Defenders of the Earth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're really well done. I like the double elbow joint. I know you like that.
So I'm not familiar with Defenders of the Earth. Who is that crystal guy?
Uh this is Garax. He's the
Okay.
leader of the ice robots who was
Hmm.
programmed by no other than Ming the Merciless,
Hmm.
which is the greatest name ever. The Merciless.
Now,
And
he had to wonder, did he title himself that, or was that given to him by somebody
right.
else?
I think I want to call myself Dana the Merciless and see if anyone jumps on that bang bang. And of course, Mandrake the magician, who's got a little sparkle to him, like it's a little bit magical
The
sparkle.
cape
I don't
does
know
look
if you can see.
sparkly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I mean, he looks like Zatara,
Yeah.
Zatanna's dad. So I'll put him.
Is is the cape soft goods? Like, does it have like a bendy wire
It
in the
is. Yeah,
back?
it's got the wire in the
Oh,
back.
that is great. I almost feel like that should be standard issue now.
Yeah, it kind of gets that cool look, especially like a longer cape. Like I know he wears
Yeah.
the short magician's cape, almost like
Hmm.
a bullfighter, but I like the longer capes. And then of course, that weird period where um, they shied away from sidekicks, but so many
Hmm.
guys had like manservants.
That's true. There was a kind of like mini expl. It always seemed weird to me that like the Avengers had a butler, or that
Right.
that Doctor Strange had Wong, and
Yeah, yeah. It was this weird time where like they were like, oh, the sidekicks a little, these young kids running around, but hey, let's give them some weird man service. But Mandrake has Lothar, who's pretty buff.
oh,
He
that's
looks like,
awesome.
yeah, like you know how I like to take photos of pairings of figures that it would have been cool when we were kids, but they weren't the
Hmm.
same size,
Yeah.
you know. But I feel like this guy and like Gung Ho and Roadblock, like
Oh my God,
I
that
feel
would be
like they would
amazing.
run together, right?
I could see him coming in. It'd be like a special episode. Roadblock's unusually nervous. And they're like, "What's wrong, Roadblock?" And he's like, "My cousin Road Hazard's on the way."
And then this
He
this guy
kicks in
walks
the
in.
door. What up?
Roadblock, what up? And then as far as my rescues, I do have a very special rescue toy that's as you know, Tom, and loyal listeners, I've been having Jeep trouble. Uh the Jeep is in the shop, and there's a very special rescue in there that I will share with us uh in the upcoming weeks. But I did find this little uh,
It's
uh
like a oh
Mickey
weird.
Mouse pretzel that goes in like a crock. And
Oh,
then
that's neat.
I found that walking into the high school to play volleyball. And then outside of Target just yesterday, this little Santa hat, which
Oh no, there's some elf that
I
that
think
Road Hazard destroyed and took his cap.
I think if there we go.
Merry Christmas!
He
It's
went from
the GI Joe Christmas special we didn't know we
yeah,
needed.
or he's a garden gnome. So that's what I got. You got anything new this week?
I did. So the Target Haulathon has been in full swing. We mentioned that
Right.
in a
Yep.
special a couple of weeks ago. So I have been going against my preferred pre-ordering of things because who knows how quickly things are going to sell out. So while I've been keeping an eye on the pre-order page, which has long come and gone, so anyone
Right.
that's listening
Yep.
to this, you missed your chance. I'm sorry, but Target has been slowly getting things in on their store shelves. So
Oh, that's outstanding.
I've lucked out and found the really cool clone shredder that's kind of like Goro's shredder with his little tiny sidekick. I
Does
found
that little sidekick have a a name to nom de guerre? Does it have a name at all?
I honestly don't think they had individual names if I remember correctly. I think they were just the Shredder clones. They appeared in the Mirage books. I don't remember the exact reasoning behind why Shredder had clones. It was very weird. But different iterations of them appeared in the later Ninja Turtles media. So like the 2010 series, they popped. Oh wait, I'm sorry, not 2010. 2003 series, the Shredder clones randomly popped up in that, and I had completely forgotten at the time that there were Shredder clones. So they were just weird, funky, kind of strange creatures. The I'm very happy. Found the black and white Usagi,
Nice.
which I thought was a super limited one time. They did a limited release of these before a holothon happened, where the artist would like sign it and he might do like a doodle. You pay whatever extra for it, but I had no idea it would be part of the holothon until they made the announcement. So that was really neat to get a hold of. And
You did get a haul, huh?
I'm amazed by my luck. They're still trying to get me to shut up about Sunman, but this is kind of the best part of it all. Trog the Triceratons. I'm sorry, Zog. I apologize. His name is Zog.
The Trog's the rock guy, right?
He is, yeah. That is, yeah, General Trag. But this is Zog. He is massive. He's real big.
So I want to see him standing next to the Rhino.
Oh yeah, I think I want to say he kind of dwarfs Rocksteady.
No, not Rocksteady. I mean the Rhino from Spider-Man. Like I want them to hang out.
Oh, the actual Rhino. I have to. You know what? Next time when I burst him out, I'm gonna put him next to actual Rhino. I don't. You know what? I actually don't have the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Rhino. I do have the Marvel Select version though, which I think is a superior mold.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
that's why it's Select.
Only the select few can enjoy that version of Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
this is Select.
This has been a good haul because Target is still trying. Which reminds me, so Target's still trying to get me to shut up about Sunman, but I won't because remember the last part of this saga where we went and we got lunch and we had decided that was what was going to happen, and I said on this show, when I get Sunman, when I purchase him in person, that will activate my pre-orders that had been
you did say it.
Last
you did
July.
say that.
Guess what happened earlier this week? I got a notice from Target that they were canceling my order because my card that was on file expired. Do you know why it expired? Because I placed this order 8 months ago. Now, they had since sent me a replacement red card. So I have an updated red card, but their information in their system never updated. So whatever it was that they decided to finally put through didn't match because it was the old stuff and it didn't update to the new stuff. So they were just going to cancel it. So now I have to get a hold of customer service and tell them, give me my Sunman.
You're not getting them.
For the love of Pete.
The sun will burn out before you get your Sunman.
Looking at your back shelf there. Saga.
I'm looking at your back shelf there. I like the aliens. I see them, the alien guy. And then who is that? Like, it looks like it's Darkseid's backup dancer back there.
Oh, so I randomly discovered this. This goes to our discussion on customs and picking and choosing. How I can't help but purchase more than one of
Right,
an item. Just thinking
right.
in the back of my head, I could probably turn them into something else. I stumbled across an extra Thanos build a figure that I
Oh,
didn't realize that I have. Now he looks blue because he's missing the gold
yeah.
piece of chest
That,
armor, but
yeah.
that's who's behind Darkseid.
Because the
And
two of them would do a duet. They could
yeah,
do a Super Bowl show. Like
I
they're very similar.
I really wish that we could get more like a really good crossover. They have crossed over in comics before, so like that's kind of neat. Like in
Yeah.
the '90s Marvel versus DC crossover, I believe that they crossed over some other time. Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of Galactus. There was a Dark Side like Galactus
Right.
crossover,
Right.
but there was that '90s crossover where Thanos appeared, and I guess based on the writing, they were like, well, how do we deal with these two? We'll just have them be unnaturally aggressive towards each other. So it's a really cool.
Sure.
There's that cool shot of the two of them staring at each other, and
Right.
then they would just burst into other people's stories, fighting one another. Like
Kind of like,
sure,
right,
that's
sure.
fine.
It's like that John Cena commercial with the cow when he comes breaking through the home fighting that random
Yeah,
dude. No one
yeah,
knows why.
they turn into like a multi comic version of the Old Spice commercials with Terry Crews, where he just burst into like a dryer commercial just
Right.
randomly.
Or the
Uh,
Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah.
yeah, fighting Dark
It's
Side.
just like when you and I get together for lunch. We just
Yeah,
crash into other people's tables.
yeah, you crash into from like you start in IHOPs, wind up in Chili somehow. Everyone's entertained. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Only we're entertained by it, but that's all that matters.
So before we really digress and end up in another restaurant, what are we
So,
talking about today?
all right, so I think the whole holothon's a good segue into this. Holothon has figures that are exclusive to Target, exclusive to Holothon. Today's
Right.
topic: exclusives.
All right, my favorite.
I know that we this has come up a little bit in some of our other discussions, but it's not something that we've focused on exclusively. No pun intended. I'm kidding. Pun intended. Um, but I think it's an interesting thing because a lot of people have very strong opinions one way or the other in regards to
Mhm.
exclusive. They're terrible. They're the bane of everyone's existence. They're greedy. They're great. They're fantastic. They're mine, and you don't have it. You see a lot of it. You see kind of the whole gradient of it. Uh,
Right.
so I'm curious to hear and talk about what has your experience been with exclusives, and what do you think of them?
You know, I'm not a big exclusive chaser. I guess it
Mm-hmm.
depends on the line. Like, when Beachhead came out, he was an
Mm-hmm.
exclusive to
Oh,
Target, and
really?
yeah, and then
Oh, for classifieds. I think you
for
meant like the original.
classifieds.
I think you meant
No,
the
no, no,
original
no,
line.
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, for the classifieds, yeah. And I was glad to find him when
Mm-hmm.
I did. Like I found him, and then they street dated me. Remember they put him on the
Oh,
shelf
that's
too
right.
early.
You had a bad run with that.
I did. Target, get your act together. But yeah, so that was cool, and I love that I found him.
Mm-hmm.
But they then later on you could find them, but for a long time you couldn't. So I was
Yeah.
glad about that. But I'm not really an exclusive chaser unless it's a line that I really am excited about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like the superpowers guys, I love them. The
Yeah.
new ones, the McFarlane ones. And they're only at Walmart, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
like they're limited. They're just happen to be carried only at Walmart, right?
Yeah.
But those like show exclusives, like that's something different. I never understood the store exclusives because everybody runs out to buy them because they're Target exclusives, but
Mm-hmm.
they're exclusive to Target, and there are a bazillion Targets all over the country. So it
To
really shouldn't be that exclusive. The only thing that makes it exclusive are the people who run out as
mhm.
soon as they hit the shelf and buy them all.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not really that exclusive because there are Targets all over the place.
Yeah. That's to the best of my understanding. Like my
So again, like I've said this before, like you're actually being punished for the word exclusive.
so from my understanding of it, and I'm sure feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, listeners. Let me know if I'm mistaken in this. to the best of my understanding, store exclusives like that, like your random like Walgreens exclusive or your Walmart or your Target exclusive, only exist because the companies have been pushing these product ideas, and kind of no one else wants them. Like they'll have, say for example, Walmart, where they had the exclusive for Ulick Control.
Right.
Uh, as far as I know, they shop this around, or Walmart will say, give us X number of items. And they'll say, well, how about these? And Walmart will say yay or nay, and depending on what they decide upon, they will then provide those just to Walmart. But I've heard stories from Hasbro designers where they've said, we have X number of characters we want to release. We've shot these around to our buyers. No one was interested in say, Siege Ratchet, except for Walgreens. So they offered this to Walgreens, and Walgreens said, sure, we'll stock them. And no one else wanted them. And then they released it, and they announced that it was a Walgreens exclusive, and the fandom wanted to cannibalize everyone that worked in the offices of Hasbro.
Right.
And I get it's a pain. It's Walgreens. Not everyone has one. Like if there was an Ollie's exclusive, I'd be kind of annoyed because there's no Ollie's within 50 miles of here.
I will say that Ollie's is a pretty cool store, and if
That's
you
what
are
I've
near one,
heard.
you should. Oh, Ollie's is
I
great. I love
really
it.
wish they were nearby. But to the best of my understanding, and it's not this all the time, but sometimes it's just a way for them to get out product that normally just wouldn't exist otherwise. If that is the case, and every exclusive has their own like reasoning behind it. But if
Right.
the reason behind it is our options were to either release it through this limited outlet or to not release it at all, I'd rather it exist than to just not exist.
Right.
I
I would find it hard to believe that like Hasbro would think, or someone would think like a character like Ulick for the people who are collectors wouldn't be
mhm,
wouldn't be picked up.
mhm.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me because it was an awesome
But
figure. It was a cool figure.
well, I guess you get into the question of who's making the decision of what to release,
Right. Is it
because you also hear
Walmart or
those,
is it yeah.
yeah, because then you hear those stories from I believe Val, who created Valverse figures. Uh, he had told a story about how kind of horrendous it was to pitch toy ideas to the board, because the it almost sounds like it's this weird like American Psycho experience where you walk in and there's this long table of soulless, angry old people who only care about money. Like they're looking at stats and bottom line numbers. And if what you're pitching doesn't line up with the information that they have, which is all centered around how much money will this make me, they don't want to hear it because they're joyless, soulless ghouls. I don't know if that's the case. This is and if my
Right.
account is mistaken, please let me know, listeners.
I feel
But
like even a soulless ghoul can find joy, Tom.
you'd like to think, but I don't know. I feel like it takes a very special, very specific kind of memory to have that Ratatouille moment where the critic takes the sip of the soup and it just zooms into when he's a child.
Right. Great
they,
image. I like it.
they walk in, they're like, "Here, it's a cup with a ball in it." Like from Family Guy, you have to get the ball in the cup, and they're like, "Oh my god, from my childhood, make it!"
Yeah.
And no one buys it, and then they
No one
realize
buys
it's a
it.
mistake.
Yeah. I never thought of like, now Walgreens doesn't get the numbers that, Target or
Yeah.
Walmart would get because that's not, the toy department is half an aisle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they've gotten some cool ones, that Silver Surfer and, some of the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four stuff they did. But like the store exclusives never really end up being that exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Sometimes they're hard to get, but that's because people run out and buy them because of the word exclusive.
Yeah.
Like I said, there are Targets and Walmarts all over the place. You can throw a rock and hit one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's different than a true exclusive, like a Comic-Con or something like that.
Yeah.
But I know you like those show exclusives. So tell me a little bit about your feelings on these exclusivity.
So I'm of two minds on like convention exclusive, like your San Diego and your New York Comic Con, or even like the New Jersey Toy Con that we went to. I'm fine with exclusives being a reason to kind of push people to attend, with the caveat that those exclusives become available later. I know that people kind of like the idea of having something to commemorate their time at a convention. Like, it was a special time, you may have had fun or whatever, and now you have this toy that says, "Hey, I went there and I got this and it was great," and that's great and that's fine. But I don't know. I feel like too many people come away with the wrong attitude about exclusives. There's this weird, like, regressive, I don't want to say bully, but like this weird, I have this and you don't. So I'm better than you. And maybe it doesn't go that far, but
Right.
I don't like that
That's
being
bold.
it encourages that kind of mindset, but it also encourages a lot of anxiety if you can't get to the show.
Right.
If your thought, especially if it's something that you really, really want, like say up to this point, all the Venoms that have been released have been some shade of gray or maroon or some weird, like, some weird Toy Biz coloring, and then San Diego Comic Con comes along and they have full on black and white Venom. You can only get it at this convention. There's only 500 pieces. You got to stand in line. Like, that's the only way to get this Venom that everyone knows of. When you do that kind of thing, I think that's kind of cruddy. Like, I'm not a fan of it. I think that as collectors, uh, everyone should have access. It should be something that brings you enjoyment, not something that stresses you out.
Right.
It's something that, like, if it, and that's why, if an exclusive was, if that was the reverse, if we normally we got weird, yeah, yeah, we got straight black and white Venom, and the convention exclusive is weird Toy Biz green and orange Venom. It's weird. It's kind of quirky. It's strange. You can still get it. It's a limited amount. You can go to the convention and say, I got this weird, this, I had fun, but I also got this weird thing to commemorate it. Isn't that neat? I feel like that should be more what exclusives are. And even then, even with that, I think that, to me, exclusivity should mean early access. I think that that would solve a lot of the general too quick to rabble mindset amongst certain collectors. There's a lot of people out there who just seem to genuinely enjoy the fact that others can get whatever. But there's too many, and that leads to scalping. That leads to discontent
Right.
within the actual
And our
community.
listeners know how we feel about the scalping side of it. And
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting point. Like, I have my hard time wrapping my head around the business of an exclusive, right?
Mhm.
So I have this figure. I have my glow in the dark bed making Tom action figure that we discussed, and everybody wants it. Like, I know, like, man, Tom's a good guy and everybody's going to want Tom to make their bed. So I make a limited run. Now, if I know everybody wants it and I could sell these for $30 a pop, why wouldn't I make a ton of them, right? Like,
Yeah.
if the customer base wants it, why make it exclusive? Now,
Mhm.
I understand why Target would want an exclusive, because then
Yeah.
you're going to come into the store and you're
Mhm.
going to be like, oh, well, I don't have this guy either. I might as well pick him up. Or, I got to pick up a loaf of bread and a stick of butter, and you're going to go shopping around. Right. So, it's, I understand why the stores would want the exclusive, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around why I would. Everybody wants this, so I'm going
Yeah.
to make 10 of them, or
Yeah.
I'm going to make it available only at one outlet. So, and I know there's that negotiation because Target's going to say, hey, we're selling a lot of Marvel Legends. How about
Mhm.
we do an exclusive, get more people in the building? Like, I think that conversation starts that way. Exclusives, to me, eh, it's a personal thing because, like, and you've run into this, Tom.
Mhm.
You go into somebody and you say, I'm a toy collector, or they come into your house, they come into the basement and they see this, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, and everybody's seen 40-Year-Old Virgin, where
Yeah.
he sells his stuff and he's now
It's
miraculously,
sure. Now,
an
now you're hot.
entrepreneur.
Now you're
Yeah,
now you're a
yeah,
ladies' man.
right.
Just sold
Well,
all your toys.
Right. That
That's
it, well,
that's the
having
formula.
I will say that having the toys does not make you a ladies man. So maybe selling the toys might, but having them certainly does not. But I so there's that value, like monetary. So people say, "Oh my God, you should sell these," or
Yeah.
"Oh my God, you took that out of the box."
Hmm.
And I do that because I enjoy the toy. Like I have,
Yeah.
this is my collection. I love it. This is my museum. It's my life's work, right? But there are people, and then so that in mind, the exclusive is like, oh my God, look how well they made that character, and that's the exclusive I want. That's
Hmm.
really that, like if you're gonna make it exclusive, make it something good,
Yeah.
and make it that character, and make it detailed, and make it something I'm going to love and I need to have in my collection, right? Don't make me chase it down because I think it's going to be valuable one day. Now, that's just me.
Yeah.
So I know there are people who say, I want the exclusive because it's a limited run and it's going to have value or currently has
Hmm.
value monetarily, not emotionally or nostalgia. Like, and that's a different mindset that I'm not in, but
Yeah.
there are those that who are just looking at it as as it has value one way or another, as a personal or monetary, and those are the reasons people are tracking them down. But I don't go chasing every exclusive just because it's exclusive.
Yeah, I think that was a mindset that needed to go away. It started to kind of swell. You started to see a little bit more in the '90s, and not to pick on McFarlane because he's far from the only person to have done this, but you started to see it a little more blatantly when the Spawn line became popular. Just like you started to see a lot of comic companies trying to crank out new number ones for
Yeah,
every new
it's
comic
got a
line that they
it's
could
got a
think of.
gold
Where,
cover, it's got a
yeah,
hologram cover,
yeah,
or yeah,
everything had some weird kind of gimmick to make it stand out a little bit more, in the hopes that what you just said would happen, that people would see it and say, oh, I gotta buy, how many kids do I have? I'll take 4 comics, please. And then I'll sit on this for until that my kid reaches 18, and then clearly I can just send them to the
right.
college of
I'll
their dream,
sell
because
Spawn #1 gold
yeah.
cover hologram for
uh
college
and
tuition.
and that started translating into the toys, where McFarlane started to put out like the
Right. That
random
was the
gold
curse,
spawns and the
the
gold
curse of the death of
violators.
Superman.
Yeah, just a ton of them. And you started to see it with see, I guess maybe this differs from mailaways. What's your take on
Mailaways when I
that?
was a
Because
kid. I
yeah,
haven't
because
seen any in a while, but when I was a kid, man, I loved a mailway. In fact, I thought I mailed away. We as a collection, my brothers and I thought we mailed away for the Emperor.
mhm.
Uh, and somewhere along the line, maybe my parents dropped the ball. I don't know, but we're still waiting for the Emperor, much like you're still waiting for your Sunman. The Emperor should be showing up any day now. I keep
Kenner is
every time I move, I write Kenner, and I
it's
say,
gonna come to you an exclusive Kenner box
right,
that's got all
hey,
like the water damage on it. And
yeah, when you get around to shipping the Emperor, this is where I live now. And so sometimes it's a joke between my brothers and I, like maybe this is the year that the Emperor
today's
shows
the
up.
day.
Yep, go check the mailbox. Uh, There
So
was
I'm
the
curious.
Super Trooper. There was the GI Joe. There was one where you could design your own character. It was like an airborne infantry guy for
Oh, I
GI
don't remember
Joe.
that.
Yeah,
That's
it
neat.
was cool. It was cool. Sky Rat. Um,
Do you remember the mail away stealth predator that you could get from the Kenner Predator toy line, where you
yeah.
saved up, I forgot how many points it was, and you mailed it off with like $5 or something like that, and you would get back a
Yep.
really cool stealth predator.
Cutting out those UPC symbols. Remember
Yep.
that? There was another GI Joe, the Super Trooper, which was
Mhm.
unfortunate. He had like I've got him. He's right over there, but he's just got silver. And he came with this big like SWAT shield that was
Uh-huh.
also silver. Like he was kind of bad looking, but he
Mhm.
was Super Trooper.
Mhm.
Uh, but unfortunately, came out at the same time that there was a pet product being marketed that was called a pooper scooper to help clean up after your dog. So of course he became the pooper scooper.
he's a he is a big favorite of all the grannies.
Right.
All the grannies love Super Trooper Pooper Scooper.
A super pooper scooper.
Stop calling me grandma. But you've got the perfect scoper. It's a shield to deflect Cobra missiles. I trained
Uh,
for this.
so
Uh,
mailaways are cool like that. When I was a kid, I got excited about mailaways.
so now, how do you feel about um, exclusives existing? Again, we'll go back to the to New Jersey Toy Con,
Yeah,
and I remember you getting that exclusive.
the Fox
Uh,
Force. Yeah,
yeah, was it like Star Dawn, I believe?
yeah, yeah. Those guys are cool.
And they had an exclusive figure, and I remember you expressing kind of some unhappiness that that
Right.
figure was available on their website afterwards. So
Not
now,
even on their website. It was on Big Bad Toy Store.
right, right.
Yeah.
So now, would you prefer for that to not be a thing? Would you prefer for that to not for them to not sell that outside of the convention, or
I
would you want them
understand that.
to wait? Like, would you have
I
been happier if they waited, say, like 6 months and then
I
released
would
it
have
to
been
the
happier
masses?
if they had waited because
Mm-hmm,
I understand that they're starting up and they're phenomenal guys and I don't want to
mm-hmm,
take anything away from them and I like their figures. I think they're cool.
mm-hmm.
But the one that I got was the kind of Boba Fett looking. It's like a
Yes.
hybrid between Boba Fett and the
It's
Halo.
like Rogue Hunter or something, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm,
and he's cool.
mm-hmm.
And I was excited to get a couple of figures in the line and the show exclusive.
Yeah.
And then and like literally 2 days later he was on Big Bad Toy Store, and like I wish he would have waited because I know they don't have a lot of inventory. Like they're great guys and they're starting their thing and they're doing well, but like they went to a couple of shows and then I saw that same exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So like make that your show exclusive. I understand that they couldn't afford to make a different show exclusive for every
Yeah.
show, right? So just leave that one as their show exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
and then leave it off the website, and then let people find you at the show like I did, and like the figures and stuff, and keep even if they did the same exclusive
Mm-hmm.
guy for every show, but that was their show exclusive.
Yeah.
I would have been all right with that. But then to like buy a show exclusive, which was more than the other guys,
Yeah.
not much, $5 or $10, but he was more than the other guys in the line because he was an exclusive. And then to see him on the website,
Mm-hmm.
it bothered me a little bit. Yeah.
So, so what do you think about say it's an exclusive that is just on Big Bad Toy Store, like the Saurozoic Warriors that
Right.
that Boss Fight Studios is putting out. They have that really cool looking Brachiosaur who really
Yeah.
should have glow in the dark paint, but he's
Yes.
black and he has the tribal markings on him.
Right.
It looks super cool. I'm getting too, but that's a Big Bad exclusive. Do you think that's a more preferable method of and they're pre-orders, which makes me
Right.
think that these, even though you can only buy it from this one place, there's a large not like there. I don't know what their cap is. I don't know what their they're still accepting pre-orders on it. So my presumption is that
Right.
there is. I don't know if they're making these to order, or I don't know if they have X number of units that they're expecting. But do you think that's a better format than
I do.
saying you
I
can only
kind
get
of
it at this
do
show?
like that format because, there's the whole line, right, that you could buy in a couple of places. And then, well, of course, they're starting up too. Like they're not
Yeah.
Hasbro and they've got a great product. And so the original lineup was offered a pre-order months before that cool Brachiosaur.
Mhm.
And so why not say, hey, let's make a deal. I've got a bunch of these pre-ordered on my site. Let's make an exclusive and get more people ordering on my site. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, that's a good plan. I don't know how many other sites are carrying the original line
Yeah.
because once I found them, I loved them and ordered them on Big Bad.
Mhm.
We're doing a lot of plugging for Big Bad today, so I like it. Uh, but I don't mind the exclusives, but like I don't know, they're not something I chase down. That one I did pre-order right away though
Yeah,
because he's very cool.
he is super cool looking.
And I like the reason I bought the exclusive of the Fox Force guy is because he because the guys were cool. Like we
Yeah.
got to meet them and they're trying to do something. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They're trying to do something
Yeah.
and I appreciated that and I supported them that way. And it's the same way with this line at Big Bad because we like those kind of guys.
Do you think conventions would get their attendance numbers? I know a place like San Diego Comic Con is never going to be struggling for attendees. But do you think that would be affected if, say, uh, or like San Diego Comic Con, or say someplace like PowerCon, where they had like last year or a couple years ago, they had the Scareglow exclusive. They had like a Sunman exclusive, which we
Right.
then got later, just like missing some. It didn't have the same accessories. I think
Right.
Sunman had more of like a metallic or like sparkly sheen to his armor that the regular release did not get. Do you think that would impact uh conventions? Like they just didn't offer anything, or they were only offering things that you could then get later? Because I remember there
Uh,
being a lot of anxiety, myself included, going to the Maddie website, getting in that dreaded processing checkout line, only to be
right.
told that, sorry, it's over, it's gone, and
Right.
being furious, unreasonably furious for like 5 minutes, and then I crunched some ice, and then I was fine.
I know.
But
Sometimes I have to tell myself, "You're really just
it's
angry over
just
a toy."
need to
But
relax.
I don't generally get angry when I miss out on a toy. Like,
Mm-hmm,
because I know I can find it, and I may have to dish out a couple of. I get angry when it's a poor customer service thing,
mm-hmm,
like it has happened to me multiple times on
yeah.
the dreaded Red Demon Target. Um, yeah, no, I don't think it would affect attendance in any measurable way. What it
Mm-hmm,
would do, though, what it would do is stop the people that are running in just to get the exclusive and run
yeah.
back out and sell it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like what we were seeing at Legion's Con. Like we
Right,
there were all kinds, but like you had mentioned before, we did see those people who were walking in with like a wagon, loading
right.
them up, walking
They
out, and you
got the
know that they're
radio
just,
flyer.
yeah, which I'm not gonna lie was a fascinating visual.
Right.
But
Some of them looked like they had a baby carriage. Like, hold my kid. I have to get.
this I'm doing something important. Hold my child, please. This is much more precious.
Yes.
I could just make another one of those. I can't make more of these.
You know what's funny about the exclusives? Like I don't chase them down, and unless it's something really cool that means something to me,
Mm-hmm,
then like a Beachhead or like the former Joe Mailaway stuff. But
mm-hmm,
um the show exclusives, like when we went to Legion Con, I had no interest in the exclusives.
mm-hmm,
But you did, and I want
mm-hmm.
to know when we've got not a lot of time yet. I want to
Yeah.
I want to hear your draw and what you look for in exclusive. Like what is the big draw?
Almost in the, it kind of mirrors my toy collecting. Give me something that looks neat. If it's a character that I don't normally collect, if you make them look really cool, or you put them in like a really cool getup, for real quick, for example, I think Elektra is a cool character. I have no real, like, I purchase her when she's in a toy line. I have no real desire to own her. But then there was a 3-pack that Hasbro Pulse released where it was Bullseye, Daredevil, and Elektra in her white costume, and she had almost like Medusa hair. And it was just a striking visual. And I was like, all right, you got me. This is
Right,
neat.
right.
Get and then and from there it just defaults to my usual. Is it neat looking? Is it clear? Does it glow in the dark? Those plunderlings,
Right.
the
Clear, glow in the dark,
yeah,
and anthropomorphic.
the New Jersey Toy Con purple plunderling. I needed it. It never crossed my mind to put it up on eBay until like
Right.
weeks later, and just randomly on a whim, because I was looking for other plunderling stuff, and saw them up there, and they went for a ridiculous amount of money. But that's usually my criteria. Give me something neat. So all right, it looks like we are out of time. This
Yes.
has been good. Thank you for indulging my my questions. If you would
I
like
kept
to,
saying, I'm not really into exclusives.
but listeners, if you'd like to join in and add to the conversation, get a hold of us on Twitter. Our address is Two Guys Talking Twitter. The Two Guys Talking Twitter. Two Guys Talking Toys. The number 2, no G after the talking. The Gmail is the same. Two Guys Talking Toys. No G after the talking. The number 2. Take care, everybody.
The more we do this, the worse we get.
It can only go uphill from here.